swings here. So the first one then, Rob, on the left was your before, okay?
Yeah.
Obviously, we discussed last week about this kind of leg movement, okay? You were keeping your weight on your right toe there quite a bit, not turning into your right hip. What you've done now, and again, this is a credit to the fact you've gone away and you've practiced, you've just kind of gone beyond where you need to go, and you can see that sort of first part, that takeaway now sort of moving into that right hip. Just, I mean, if you watch kind of your body moving, that left knee's going towards the ball. Okay, your right hip now is going to be sort of popping back, and you can kind of see, look at the back of your head and that yellow line behind you, you're kind of moving towards the ball there as a result, and then you start popping up. So you're just not quite getting that sort of stability. And again, because of that, now you're having to react to that. When you come back to the goal, now your right foot has to sort of start popping up. So your right foot, basically your feet are doing too much of this on like, I say the pedal, like sort of clutch and accelerator kind of thing. We want to get a bit more kind of turning into that right heel and then a bit more kind of rolling off on that right ankle. So if we look at these movements here now, this is what you're going to be doing. Now the first one you tried, again, not a criticism, but the first one you had to go out to take the golf club back to about here's what we're looking for, and yet you took the golf club up there, okay? So just working on that takeaway, just being aware of where that club is, okay? This one here is good there, that would be okay, and you can see the movement there in your right knee. If we go back to your backswing when it was before, so the club about, I guess about there, if I clear those lines there, you just look a lot more stable on that right side, okay? Now you don't look on your tiptoes on the right hand one, okay? So we're still going to turn into that right hip, but we're just doing so maintaining a little bit of flex in that right knee, okay? Hasn't got to be sort of the same as the left knee. It's going to go back a little bit, but by how much? If it snaps back too quickly, you're now in a position where you can't use your lower half effectively on the way down. So now you're reliant mostly on your top half. Shorter irons, you can kind of get away with that. As the clubs get longer, it will become a lot more difficult, and your cut-off point was around kind of your 7 or 6 on. You're like, okay, 7, 8 is pretty good. 6 can go well. Again, because you can swing the golf club, you've got decent hand-eye coordination, obviously very sporty, you can still hit good shots from poor positions. The same way you look at like good football players can like volley a ball in from the run. There's I'm out of balance. They happen to get the ball round because they're decent, yeah. But out of 10 goes of that version, they'll probably get 1 or 2 maybe go in. Whereas if they can get in a better position, they increase their chance of scoring, obviously, on a more regular basis. So that'd be kind of your takeaway practice. So doing this is sort of the feel of the movement there. And I think, as I said towards the end there, maybe do a few shots on the range. We actually swing the golf club to here, stop. This is like with a wedge or a 9 or a shorter club, and then swing from there to the top of your backswing, okay? So you get that feeling of where the club needs to be and how your lower half's going to move. Then as you go into the golf ball now, okay? So there's your takeaway there. That's good. There's a little bit of daylight being shown there now, which is fine. It's going to start showing there a little bit, okay? And then top of the backswing here now, that right leg's probably straightened a little bit more than we want, but yeah, it's starting to move. As we come back to the ball, that right foot now is starting to kind of pop up a little bit, but it's going to move a little bit this way. For me, the path of that club is much more non-shank conducive. When the toe goes this way, the weight on the toe, this shaft will kind of get out here somewhere. So the fact the shaft is kind of still inside the golf ball means your club is still working from a good angle in here, which is going to be nice, give you a nice draw, as that last shot was shown there, okay? And then through the target. So the balance in your swing overall now is really good, even with the swing before when you were sort of snapping the leg back, because you are being a much more right hip, left hip, right heel, left heel in terms of your swing. It's just at the moment before you were getting a little bit too much snap back, and it just restricted what your lower half can do. So okay, if we can work on that right hip movement, I'd practice this movement here now, swinging that club. If we look at those 2 spots there, that's kind of the main change today, okay, we're looking at, where a bit of daylight there, but I mean massive, Finn could get through that gap, couldn't he? It's quite a big daylight there. And the problem with that leg straight in there, you can't now turn anymore. So now the only way your arms and hands can go is kind of just sort of go up, which gives you that kind of sensation when you kind of go here and then you're going up there. So now even though you're back here, you're still going on your toes, plus your left knee going forward as much, puts a bit of weight on this front toe here, and you're just moving yourself towards the golf ball. Okay, so does that kind of make sense then, So work on that takeaway. I would practice, like I say, with that movement there. Again, and when you're down the range of Finn, probably have 1 bay each, so 1 bay between you, shot back and forth, 5 shots per person. While he's hitting some shots there, you can be sort of stood there working on this, so just getting that sort of feeling of the takeaway, top half taking it away, and maybe hit some shots from there, and then continue to the backswing. Okay, long term, you probably want your backswing to be about here, and your knees to be, I guess, somewhere around about here. Okay, just to give you sort of rough idea. There's going to be a bit of daylight. If you want to film some swings, ping them across and we can have a look. Daylight's supposed to be there, but just not that much. Yeah, it just means that your knee's gone forward and your right knee's gone back. Yeah, your left knee going towards the goal, but that's going to make it a little bit harder. You're not moving, your head movement there's not so much as good, so you're maintaining a more sort of stable position there, okay? But yeah, it's just hard for the lower half to sort of function from there, because as you're coming down now, your lower half at this point should have already sort of, left knee should be coming back now, but you just can't get back quick enough because it's gone forward, and your right knee sort of trying to adjust all the time. That's, again, adjustments that we make instinctively. You can't think about that. If we can change the backswing, we can then improve the downswing just because we're in a better position. Okay, mate, makes sense? Good man.